Jessie Miles. I'm your Director of Fitness here at Sun City Summerlin. Welcome to board members and Mitzi, and this is just a wonderful turnout. We've been doing our healthy cooking demo. We started in 2019, and it's grown from there. Even during the shutdown, we had a virtual cooking demo with many, many thanks to Mary Fairhurst, resident here, who has been passionate about healthy cooking and has designed these wonderful recipes for you for the last couple of years. So please welcome Mary Fairhurst.
Waters, once again, she's 100 plus 6 months old. And together with Judy, the two of them sat on your tables today, so we kept Ellen busy. And thank you to everyone who has helped me through this. This has been, because we have a larger group today than we normally do, a lot of people have contributed to this, Jessie and her staff obviously, but Beth Clark spent hours with me in the kitchen yesterday on the final dishes. Kit, who is always in the kitchen at every single one of these, she's just working very, very hard. So there's a lot of people behind the scenes that you don't see. I want to make sure that they get recognized because there's a real good team effort that goes into this. So this is your menu for today. How many of you have had the smoothie? And did you like it? Yes. So the nice thing about that, some people have to be dairy-free, right? So if you have any health challenges, and we have someone who is in the audience today who is allergic to dairy and I believe eggs, is that right, Danielle? And so at 4 years of age, you know, it'd be kind of hard to find something to accommodate that kind of diet, but everything today can be modified. So nothing today is strictly vegan, but there's vegan options. So your smoothie was made with regular yogurt, but dairy-free yogurt works really great in it. It called for French vanilla, but French vanilla isn't available. You can find vanilla bean. So I'm glad you liked it. This is kind of a saying that Jessie and I like. If you've ever had one of these days. I think, Jessie, we should have a balanced class where we just serve cupcakes. So here's your lemon smoothie, and again, you can use dairy-free yogurt, and everything else is dairy-free. So lemon juice, honey, grated ginger, lemon zest, and some turmeric. Yes? Yes, you can sign up for the recipes, and we will email them to you in PDF. And if there's a slide on here that you want that is not part of the recipes, I will send it to you, because when we get to the end, I have something to help you buy watermelons. How do you pick a good watermelon? All right, so that's your smoothie. And you just throw everything in the blender and blend it up. So it requires just a regular blender. Some of the other dishes later today require a high-speed blender, otherwise known as a Vitamix. So you might have heard of in the kitchen, we have 3 Vitamixes going in there. I did not modify this recipe at all from the website, except that when I make it for myself, I make it with dairy-free yogurt. And I found that almond milk yogurt and coconut milk yogurt both work great. And they don't taste like coconut. So, the next thing on your table is your spinach salad with cranberries and sweet onion citrus dressing. So your dressing is in a little bowl, so you'll have to dress it yourself. And we have a little bit of baby spinach, some red onions, some dried cranberries. What I like to do is put some feta, crumbled feta on it. And I have some of the containers that I use up here. You're going to taste in your corn salad today a vegan feta that is from Trader Joe's that is better, in my opinion, than regular feta. It's that good. The sweet onion dressing has the delicate onions. This one has olive oil. How many of you have been coming to these for a while and you know that I don't cook with oil? Yeah, I don't cook with oil unless I thing that's gonna work. But I wanted to make a dressing that you might make at home. So if you're not opposed to oil, it has olive oil in it, lemon juice, honey, or you can use agave, Dijon mustard. I used potato starch in this because that's what I had. But you just have to know if you're going to sub potato starch for tapioca, you have to use a different amount. Some sea salt, paprika, and some garlic. So, anybody want to give me some input on your sweet onion dressing? Yeah. Like it? We have a rebel rouser. Yes, you may. So, you just make this one in a bowl, but it separates if you make it a couple of days ahead of time. So you may need to whisk it again, or in our case, we blended it again today. This one I like to make a couple of days ahead of time and let the flavors come together. The first day you make it, it might be a little strong onion taste, but after that, if you let it go for a couple of days, it's great. So, let's see, what's going next? They're going to bring you Mexican-style ungrilled corn salad with vegan option. That's a lot. So, you want to hear a funny story? The salad you're having today took 48 ears of corn. You can't make the salad with frozen corn. You cannot make it with canned corn. It will not be the same because the sugar content is completely different. So when you cut it off the cob, you'll see all the starches and sugars. So my husband shucked 48 ears of corn. But the worst part is he sat at our counter, and every time he pulled, he'd say, shucks, shucks, shucks. Jesse said I should have gotten my headphones and put them on. Yeah. But this is really nice because a lot of us don't have barbecues. How many of you don't have a barbecue or a grill? Okay, so this is a great option to make a grilled salad without a grill. Now obviously if you have a grill, you can use it, but some of the juices are what you're going to lose them in the grill. So the neat thing about this recipe, super easy dressing. So all we did, we shucked 48 ears of corn, and then we put them in bags, and then when we got ready to make it, you put the corn with a little bit of oil in a pan. I use a big round pan, and it has to have a lid. So you put the corn in with a little bit of oil and a little bit of salt. It's on high heat because you want to char the corn, but you do it with the lid on. And you only do it for 3 minutes. When you take the lid off after 3 minutes, the bottom part of it is charred, so you just stir it a little bit, you'll get the char, you take it out. Keeping the lid on it is what keeps the corn moist. If you leave the lid off, you're going to get a dry corn salad. So then we just use 3 tablespoons of lime juice, 3 tablespoons of regular or vegan sour cream, or plain yogurt. And in this one you're having today, it is plain yogurt. Regular or vegan mayonnaise, so it's only 1 tablespoon. A little bit of salt. This recipe is for 6 ears of corn, by the way. 2 garlic cloves, some chili powder. So you can make this as spicy as you want it to be. I always make it a little on the unspicy side for the general crowd. But if you want it a little spicier, just use a little more chili powder. And then the feta that's in it is actually the vegan feta cheese from Trader Joe's. And it's excellent. If you've never had it, it's excellent. And it actually says on it, feta alternative. And then some scallions. And if you want it a little bit hot, you can cut up some serrano chilies. You can put fresh cilantro or parsley on the top of it. And you just combine the lime juice, the sour cream, or yogurt, and the mayonnaise. And that's the entire dressing. It can't be any easier than that. It's just super, super easy and super fast. But I got up at 4:30 this morning to cook the corn for the salad. Yes. Do you like goat cheese? Let's see, goat cheese, feta cheese. Yeah. There's a Mexican cheese. It's very popular with it. But it's really fast and it's a great potluck dish. Really great potluck dish. So, who's tasting the corn salad right now? Give me some input. Do you like it? Oh, that's something coming from Nancy. I know she's vegan. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, because that'll keep him out of trouble. Well, I have to tell you a story about the corn, another story about the corn. So, last Wednesday, Albertson's ad came out, and it had, your first 6 ears were 5 cents an ear. Well, do the math. If we were paying 69 cents an ear for 48 ears of corn, it would be pretty costly for the demo, right? And we've never done a cooking demo in the summer, but we wanted to do one with summer foods. So I called Jesse, and I said, I need everybody in the office, everybody you know, to go download the Albertsons coupon. And then my husband and I went to every Albertsons we could and got corn, and then Beth went and got another 12 ears. I think, Dick, she talked to you into getting 6. So, the entire cost of the corn on the cob for this demo was a little over $2. And it would have been $26 if we had paid the full price. So we turned out to be pretty good shoppers when we were looking for volume. So you can serve it with just about anything. This picture here has it served with avocado, but I have some other options for you. On the left, you can top it with Fritos. It gives it a good crunch. You can crunch them up if you don't want them to be whole, and then make a sweet potato taco. So here you have on the right roasted sweet potatoes. This is actually delicious. Roasted sweet potatoes topped with the corn salad and a drizzle of lime. It's absolutely fantastic. So a really good dish for summer. All right, so good. Has anybody, besides myself and everyone else I've told, ever done the corn in the microwave? Yes. Yeah. There's a new one out. You can do the corn in the Instant Pot. Yeah. So you can do it in the Instant Pot. But if you have never tried this, and you're going to eat corn on the cob, and you don't want to be boiling water, and then timing it, or how long it's in the pot, and the whole thing, this actually works very, very well. When you convert a recipe to plant-based and no one can tell. So, this is vegan tuna salad. Compliments to Nancy, who turned me on to this recipe, who is also vegan. Because there's probably 100 vegan tuna salads out there, at least. And when you make one and it doesn't work out, you're thinking, gee, I wish I knew which one is good. So Nancy cut this short for me and sent me the recipe that she liked. And this salad is amazing, especially if you don't want to eat tuna, because I'm curious as to what you think when you taste it. So what it has in it is chickpeas. And Beth and I were trying to do the math yesterday when we were deciding how much tuna-less salad we had to make to serve 80 people. And we kept screwing up, but we got it exact. So 3 cans, or 1.5 cans of chickpeas, chopped dill pickles, red onion, celery, and then cashew cream. How many of you have never heard of cashew cream? You're thinking, what in the world is this woman eating? So cashew cream is what vegans eat instead of sour cream, and instead of mayonnaise, and all those things that have egg and dairy in them. And in a minute, I'm going to actually make a batch of cashew cream over here so you can see how easy it is to do. So, this doesn't have any dairy in it whatsoever. If you wanted to use something other than cashew cream, because cashew cream does require a high-speed blender. Not your regular blender, but a high-speed blender. If you don't want to go to that effort, I would use yogurt or sour cream or a combination of those two. Mayonnaise is going to make it a lot more tangy than what you're tasting today. So, some cashew cream, some salt, black pepper, and a garnish. All right, so let's make cashew cream. Okay. So for cashew cream, you do not want to make the mistake of going out and buying regular salted, roasted cashews, because it would taste horrible. So, somebody speaks from experience? Actually, I bought these at Costco. They now carry raw cashews. So these are unsalted, unroasted, raw cashews. You can buy whatever amount you want at Sprouts, but they have to be raw and they have to be unsalted. Otherwise, you're going to come up with a very salty dish. Okay, so what you do is you take and you soak the cashews overnight. And they kind of get slimy. And this is 1 cup of cashews that have been soaked overnight. A little bit of lemon juice. And then we're going to thin it out with water. I'll come around to each of the tables because I think you'll be pretty amazed that you can turn cashews into this. Very creamy, super creamy. But again, a regular blender won't work for this. You have to have a high-speed blender because it has to be able to really pulverize those cashews. Yeah, Mitzi just made a good point. You see, I didn't blend it for that long. So if you're working with a larger batch, you might have to blend it a little bit more. Because you can see how creamy it is. There's not one piece of nut left in there. Isn't that amazing?
I know, I was going to try it.
So you can see how creamy it gets. what's really great about cashew cream is it can be used for so many things. If you're dairy-free, I say get a Vitamix because you will never regret it. I've had this Vitamix for almost 20 years. So, the tunaless chickpea salad, how is it? Would you know that that was cashew cream if I hadn't told you? Yes. Of course you would. So look at all the things you can do with that. Now, my neighbor, I actually took it to my neighbor, and she told me it was one of the best things I'd ever cooked and brought to her. But she thought it tasted like tuna. To her, it tasted very similar to tuna. So you can stuff an avocado, you can stuff a tomato. On the bottom left there are zucchini boats. Make a wrap, a sandwich. You can grill it just like grilled tuna and cheese. So you can do almost anything with it. You can make cashew cream to be a basic, which this is really a basic, just with some lemon juice. But you can also make it savory. You can make it sweet. So I have a recipe that's really great for cream cheese filled strawberries, and the cream cheese is not cheese, it's cashew cream. And you put a little maple syrup in it or honey, and it becomes sweet if you don't know the difference. Yes?
This is the next, which is an bagel chicken with a green
it will separate, but it'll be good for, I would say, 3 or 4 days. Yeah, since there's no dairy in it, it's probably a little longer, but it will separate a little bit. I use it in place of sour cream or mayonnaise. And like I said, maybe in the fall we'll do one and we'll give you the sweetened version of cashew cream. So it's like a dessert. And it is just absolutely fantastic. And the calories aren't bad. And the fats that you're getting from it are the good fats that come from nuts and seeds. All right, so there's your tunaless chickpea salad. This takes a little bit of effort to make. It's really one of those things that you have to enjoy making. There's a little bit of chopping that goes into it, but look at the calories. 131, fat 5.3. It's very healthy. If you compare this to something made with regular mayonnaise, this is going to be a lot more healthy for you. So now I believe you're being served the everything bagel chicken with green goddess sauce. So, Nancy, have you made a green goddess sauce yet? This one I really, really like. Now, how many of you think cilantro tastes like soap? So, I guess there's a certain gene that you have, and it either tastes like soap or it doesn't, and my husband and I both don't like it. So you can either, on the green goddess sauce, you can either use cilantro and parsley, or all cilantro, or all parsley. So which one do you think you got today, since I hate cilantro? Yeah. So you got it, it's made only with parsley. On the bottom right there is the Trader Joe's Green Goddess salad dressing. Now, it's a great dressing, but it is definitely a salad dressing, so it's a little more on the tangier sweet side. And the Green Goddess sauce that I made doesn't have anything sweet in it. So the everything bagel chicken we use chicken breast, a little bit of oil, and the everything bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's. And then we just simply baked it. Oh, aquafaba. So, like I said, I don't use oil for cooking. So instead of putting oil around the chicken breast, I will use aquafaba, which is the juice out of a can of beans. You know it's kind of slimy? Right, so it's a brine, right. So I use no sodium chickpeas, and then I save the brine, and then I cook it down a little bit. So if I start out with a half a cup of the juice out of the can, I might end up with a quarter cup of when it's reduced down. And it's kind of slimy, and that's all that you're doing with the oil, is getting it to, adhere to the chicken. Excellent question. So then we just baked it, uncovered, and then you tent it after it's done to keep the juices in. So that's everything but the bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's. And if you haven't tried it, it's absolutely fantastic. And there's all kinds of recipes out there that use it. This was just our favorite one. So you can make it at home, and then you can control the taste to your diet. So if you're on a low sodium diet, you might want to make your own at home. And then that way you can control the salt in it. Any comments on either the sauce or the chicken? Good, I'm getting a thumbs up over here. So, the green goddess sauce. So 3/4 of a cup of raw cashews, 6 tablespoons of water, 1.5 tablespoons of lime juice, 1/2 tablespoon of maple syrup. And when I say maple syrup, you all know that I don't mean pancake syrup, right?
No, I didn't.
And I also use agave. They're interchangeable, so if I'm out of maple syrup, I'll use agave. If I'm out of agave, I'll use honey. A true vegan would never eat honey, though, because it's an animal. Quarter cup of cilantro, a quarter cup of parsley, or a 1/2 cup of one. And then you just need a high-powered blender. Yes?
Let's go back to the maple syrup, please. Could you elaborate on that? Is it like a cooking maple syrup, or?
So genuine maple syrup that comes from a maple tree, like from Vermont, any of them. Canada is a big maple syrup provider, but pancake syrup is just high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, it's like, it's just, you look for maple syrup that says maple syrup.
So it'll say real or 100% maple syrup. Yeah, and it's really healthy for you. If you're going to use a sugar substitute, that's the one to use. But you do need a high-speed blender. Next time I do this, I'm going to try and make it in my food processor and see if it comes out as creamy. Any comments on the green goddess sauce? Would you have thought that it has cashew cream in it? Yeah, see, most people would make it with mayonnaise, and then you've got the tangy, sweeter flavor of it.
Here's your sauce.
Here we go. Just found out there's no popcorn in popcorn and shrimp. Guess there's no reason to try pot roast. I'm here all week trying to be it. Dessert's coming soon, so I guess we'll talk dessert, right? So this is a strawberry crostini, and we've done a couple of crostinis. We just keep doing different versions of crostini. I think it was, Beth, was it last month? Oh, she's gone. All right. She's in the kitchen. They're plating your strawberry crostini. Last month, I think it was, we did the crostini with mushrooms and balsamic vinegar, so sauteed mushrooms on top. So take a baguette, cut it in slices, and almost any topping you can think of. What we did on this one, and we used regular cream cheese, but you can use vegan cream cheese, and that is 100% dairy-free. And honestly, I don't think you can tell the difference when you add everything together. So we put the cream cheese in a bowl and let it we put it in the microwave to warm it up a little bit, put in honey, and then over at Big Lots, I'm going to think I'm crazy. Judy already knows I'm crazy, so she won't think anything of it. Big Lots sells dried fruit that has nothing in it but fruit. So the only thing in here was dried strawberries. No added sugar, no added anything. And they come in little pieces, and we just crush them up. put them in the cream cheese with a little honey, and then spread that on the baguette, and then put some sliced strawberries on it, and then drizzle the top with honey.
Sounds good.
So, looks like they might be coming soon, yes.
They're coming now.
These, you can't rehydrate because they're not just dried, they're, what I'm looking for, it's probably on here. Freeze dried. So all we did was crush them up. But you'd be surprised over at Big Lots in the package where the fruit comes from. They have dried pineapples, dried mangoes, and it's really hard to find dried fruit that doesn't have sulfur added to it, which for me, I'm not a big fan of. So again, you can make this dairy-free. So all I did was cut up a baguette. We used, let me tell you about how long it took me to slice all the strawberries. We used about 8 pounds of strawberries. So first I had to clean them, then I had to take the stems out, then I had to slice them. And no, my husband did not help. So and you can toast the baguettes. I did not toast the baguettes today because I did toast some of them and they become really hard. So if you're going to use oil, you can put some oil on them and put them in the oven or butter, whatever. I just personally don't choose to do that. But if you do that, then the bread might be a little softer. So we left the bread just as it was. I don't know about you guys, but I don't really want to break a tooth trying to eat a crostini. All right, so here's how to pick a watermelon. And this actually works. And I don't remember where I got this, but I took a screenshot of it when I found it, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try this and see if it really does work. So you'll see me in the supermarket, and I am the one that is looking for a particular orange field spot. So the third one on the top row from the left, that is full of flavor. But the one to the right with a white field spot has little to no taste. So you need the orange spot. Elongated is watery. Uniform size and heavy is very sweet. So I see a lot of them, they're not uniform at all. So I'll just keep digging. Smaller webbing on the bottom left. You can barely see that webbing. That is going to be bland. The next one with the larger webbing is sweet. Dark and dull is ripe, and shiny is not ripe. And I've actually used it and it's worked, except for one time when Judy and I went to Sam's Club and bought watermelon and I thought I had a good one. But most of the time this works for me. So I keep it on my phone. You see me there. I'm looking at this watermelon and I'm back looking at the picture. So last month in March when we did this, I brought you a product that was a pasta substitute from Trader Joe's, and now we have a new one. It's a kohlrabi. Anybody know what kohlrabi is? Well, there's 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, must be some healthy people. So what do you think kohlrabi is? Otherwise known as a German turnip. Very healthy. So let's go back to the package. This is spiralized, so it's all ready to go. You don't have to boil it or anything. All you have to do is heat it up. So I put it in a bowl with a little marinara sauce. And to me, it's a great substitute for pasta. And a lot of vegans get stuck with what to eat, and so they go to pasta. Pasta. Well, then pretty soon you're going, pasta. So, let's see, 2 of the ladies are here that came and cooked with me at my home. I sent you home with it. Did you try it? You're on the spot now. No. Did you try it, Angela? It was good? So, like your taste buds have to change. If you're used to eating a lot of salt and you go and buy unsalted potato chips, you are going to think that's the worst thing in the world. So you got to get used to changing your taste buds, and when you do, this is a great alternative. And it's in the fresh vegetable section at Trader Joe's. Here we go. After you turn 50 years old, you may not recognize letters up close, but you can sure recognize idiots from 50 yards away. Only those of us in the senior community can appreciate that. I'm not saying how many idiots I know. All right, I'm giving you 2 bonus recipes. So we didn't make these recipes for you because, quite honestly, this was a lot of prep for this one. A lot more prep than we normally do. But I wanted you to have a couple of options. So think about last cooking demo we did. We did a homemade, healthy Caesar salad dressing. We have done sweet onion dressing. But you can also do a ranch. You can buy dairy-free ranch, you can make your own. But all you have to do is take and do a twice stuffed baked potato. So you bake it, then you take the filling out, you mix in whatever dressing you've made. The green goddess sauce is absolutely excellent for this. I mixed in a little bit of broccoli, put it back in, and then you're done. And this is the Instant Pot instructions for making baked potatoes in an Instant Pot. So in the summertime here, we really don't want to turn on our ovens very often, right? So Instant Pot is a great way to do your baked potatoes, and you can do, let's say, 4, 5, 6 baked potatoes in an Instant Pot, and then you have them for all week. All you have to do is heat them up. So all your instructions will be in there. You can fill them with almost anything, but this time of year, it's a really good thing to have around. Originally, when we scheduled this one, we were going to do a pineapple whip. How many of you have been to Disneyland or Disney World and had the Dole Whip? Yeah. If you want to look online, you'll find out how unhealthy it really is. It's really awful. It is filled with added sugar. Not just the sugar from the pineapple, but filled with added sugar. That's why it tastes so good. But I actually found a recipe for the pineapple whip, and you guys tasted it, didn't you? Yeah. So we made it. It's a little labor intensive to make for a large group because you have to cut the pineapple into chunks, freeze it. Oh, Ellen got to taste it too, yeah. And freeze it, and then you put it in a Vitamix, and with a little tiny bit of almond milk or a little bit of orange juice. And it's absolutely delicious. And it's a really healthy alternative, but on a hot summer day, either that smoothie that you had or this one are both good options. So, everybody that I run into after we do these cooking demos always ask me, Mary, who do you follow? And this is the guy that I follow, and I've been following him for a few years. I was telling Jesse earlier in the kitchen that I got introduced to plant-based food, but didn't go plant-based in about 2015, and it was my dentist who told me about it. He and his family had gone totally plant-based as an experiment, and they found out that they had no calculus on their teeth at all when they went in for their cleanings, when they changed to plant-based. And he tried to get us to do it, but we weren't ready. And then we saw a couple of the documentaries. How many of you have seen Forks Over Knives? Oh, one. Good. It's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, Forks Over Knives talks about going plant-based. And Michael Greger is a medical doctor who doesn't have a practice, and all he does is do all his work on healthy eating. He does videos, he writes books, he writes a blog. He's actually very funny. He does a live blog broadcast on his treadmill. So he's walking on his treadmill and he's answering questions online as he's walking. But his website's really good for any of you who are looking for nutritional information. And the reason his website is so good is that he is not sponsored by anyone. You can donate to him as an individual, but he's not backed by any company, especially food companies. He talks a lot about big pharma, and he says that big broccoli will never be as big as big pharma. So there's no money in it. So this one happened to be the difference, and this is a short video. His videos can be anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes, so they're not long. And this is telling you the difference between lentils and chickpeas. So you can see lentils are the healthiest in antioxidants, and chickpeas are next. And then it keeps going down. So he gives you great visuals, but everything he does is research-based, everything. And he reviews the research and then tells you who sponsored the research. Did the cereal company sponsor the research to tell you that cereal is healthy for you? That kind of thing. This is his website, it's nutritionfacts.org, and you can't see the screen very well, but you've got a list of his most popular topics, so you can look up sugar is one of them right there. But you can go down to this bottom bar, and if you wanted to look up a condition, say some kind of cancer or indigestive problems, any of that, you just go to the letter and then open it up, and his entire video library is there, his entire blog library is there, and it's really nice because they're short and sweet. Nothing is super long. On the videos, he actually also publishes on the website his transcript of the video, so you can read it if you want to. But it's just a ton of really, really good information. So, any questions, comments, suggestions? Oh, you guys are so quiet. Did you have it, Christine? Did you have it, Christine? Yes, in the back. Okay, so if you sign up for the recipe, it doesn't have the nutritionfacts.org, but I will go home and make a PDF out of those slides, and then it'll be included. So each recipe is in PDF, so I'll just include that, and I'll include the one on the watermelon if you like. Okay, any other comments? Yes? You're intrigued by aquafaba? You know what I do? So I'll open a can or two of chickpeas, drain them, save the aquafaba, put it in ice cube trays, freeze it. As soon as they're frozen in ice cube chunks, take them out, put them in a bag, and then I can take as many out as I need. If you were here, I think it was last month, did we do the croutons last month with the Caesar salad? I think we did. My croutons are not made with any oil, they are made with aquafaba. Yes, so I reduce it, let it cool, put it in ice cube trays. My husband's always pulling something out of the freezer going, what in the world is this? It's usually something new that I'm trying. Any particular kind of food that anyone would like to see us work with? Anything? Yes? Yes, good question. A lot of people will take fresh herbs and freeze them in a little bit of olive oil, and then you can take them out and use them, but you could put them in the aquafaba and freeze them that way. Yeah, reduce it. Yeah, before you put the herbs in. Yeah. So nobody has a food that we haven't done yet that you'd like to see done. Anybody have a particular health restriction? So you need to be sodium, you need to be dairy-free, you need to be, I don't know, meat-free. All right, the world is full of nice people. If you can't find one, be one.